Hello, 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 and welcome to Survivor Debrief. My name's Eden Porter, the unlucky loser from Survivor Titans vs. Rebels, and with me, as always, is my comedic partner and real-life brother, Josh Porter. Josh, how are you going?
I'm good. I'm going very well. It is a race to the finish now. I feel like we're in that spot where, like, there's no spot to hide. You can kind of really see the end game, and you start thinking about these pairs and these combos and who's going to do what. So it's a very exciting part of the season.
Would you call it the pointy end of the season, Josh?
I'd say it's the pointy end.
I think we're at the pointy end of the season. But Josh, big news, first of all. We hit the 500 mark, 502 subs. Congratulations.
So everyone, please
Good
stop
job.
subscribing. We want to sit at 500. We did it. We did it.
Whatever you do. No, but that's great. Thank you to all the subs out there. It's really great. Thanks to all the comments that come through. We'll try and get to all our responses and everything. But it's great to have our little Survivor Debrief community living large.
So thanks so much, guys. And road to the 1,000 is next. So let's do it.
Road to 1,000. They say the first 500 is the hardest, Josh. I always say that. Let's get into episode 11, though. Now, we have a little bit of a look back on the previous episode. And one thing they really want to hammer home, which is foreshadowing, is Sage's real, like, the deep connection that she had with Joanne and how it really affected her. And this is sowing seeds for her ultimately blinded by revenge later on in this episode.
Well, I think we've seen that a lot this season. This as soon as something gets flipped on you, or you look like it really, really hits you hard, and you sort of recalibrate a lot. And the thing that I identified most with, and I'm sure you'd have good insights on this, that idea of, the one person I could trust and I could talk to and be honest and open with and have a proper conversation about this whole game is now gone. Like, I don't have that person anymore. Like, that as a sounding board must be so valuable out there.
Oh, when you have that person, but there's also something liberating about suddenly playing solo, because sometimes, and I played like a backyard survivor many moons ago, like a Melbourne survivor. And I had someone there that I was just like, yep, me and him have really connected. We'll just go through it. And you start thinking about the game in terms of a pair. And then when that person goes, then suddenly you're like, oh no, I've just got to start playing for me now. I've got to start doing so it can be liberating in a sense, but just having someone to be able to talk things through is so important. It is helpful. It is really helpful.
Yeah, so I can sort of imagine where Sage is coming from, but I wonder if the emotion got to the better of her.
I think it may have. The other thing that happened at the start was Rizzo. We were chatting about it last week. Rizzo's fake idol play, and he tells us that he made his fake idol and he was going to play it to scare Christina into playing her idol to make sure that she plays hers, that tribal council, and ultimately wastes it on Steven.
Yes.
Now, does this...
Rizzo, try something very cool.
There we go, Rizzo.
But
now,
as we found out...
Doesn't quite work.
Just paid for itself, that soundboard. Just pays for itself every week. But ultimately, that doesn't really work because he plays it, Jeff says it's a fake, and then Christina goes, oh, I better use mine now? Like,
yeah.
Unless he was just gonna dance around with it.
Well, I can see it as like a sort of Tony-esque move of causing chaos and confusion and like, I'm just going to do this stuff. And then there's an idea of like, well, hang on, is he going to play his real one? So it's like, I could kind of see it in that regard. But in terms of, if I play this, then she forces to play her. I don't really see that happening.
Unless he was going to get it out and say, I might play this tonight. I'm only going to have to play it if Christina plays hers, though. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. And then she plays hers, but then it's a game of chicken at that point. But ultimately, it sort of took the steam out of his sails because
steam out of his sails. That is a very good phrase there, Ethan.
Yeah, Josh, we're warming up, mate, because this is the theme. Badly put together analogies is the theme of this. I've got a few.
Very good.
We're cooking with oil, Josh, now. It's milk off a duck's back.
Absolutely.
Don't worry, I've got a whole list of them for today.
Get him in the soundboard.
Get him in the soundboard, folks. But ultimately, I don't know whether it pays off in this regard, because I think Rizzo, he still wanted to do it. He still had it, so he's like, I might as well just do it. Even though Christina's played his first, he wanted to still do it for the jury. But is this the move that is Rizzo's big move?
It's something.
Is that
I think
it?
it's something. I think it's another little thing to
Something?
point to be
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I'm playing, I'm doing stuff, I'm thinking about this game, and I'm really, you know, I'm trying things. And I think that comes off as good. Like you try, maybe it didn't do anything, but like there's the effort. They appreciate the effort, you know.
Now, there is one thing that does happen, though, which I think is a key. It's an interesting thing to pick up on. But that Sage and Sophie have a little conversation, right?
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah. But one thing that came out in that is Sage actually mentions that, like, Rizzo rubbing it in, which I think is an interesting thing to identify, because the edit doesn't make us feel like people feel that way towards Rizzo. But the fact that she's gone, and Rizzo bloody rubbing it in, and like, it makes me feel that there's people out there that don't, on the island, that don't actually love Rizzo as much as the edit is making us. Edit sort of plays him off as this funny sort of guy that in confessionals goes nuts, but outside of the time he's just sort of normal. But maybe there's an insight there that, like, maybe people don't love Rizzo as much, and maybe he isn't as much as a threat, because everyone says Savannah is going to win the game. No one's saying Rizzo is going to win the game.
That's what I'm finding weird. When Rizzo's the one with the idol, that's what I find interesting, that his name isn't really on people's lips, despite it being like, they feel pretty comparable to me. Yes, Savannah's certainly winning more, and it's like maybe that's the threat, that like, oh, but she could just win her way through immunity. So we need, that's the high priority. The other thing I found really interesting with that Sophie and Sage conversation was Sophie going on about Jawan being such a huge threat. Do you think that's just covering, or is that legitimately how Sophie felt?
No, she in her voting confessional last week, she actually said, I figured out today that you're actually a massive threat to win this game.
Yeah,
that's why I'm voting for you.
I don't agree with. I find that so interesting that that's like such a big reason to get someone out. Like,
Well, yeah.
he just didn't strike me as that's the play with that player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose it's the nicest reason. I suppose if you're trying to get on with someone's ally, and you just say to them, he's just too good at this game. He's too good. He was so awesome. We had to get rid of him, rather than being like, I didn't like him. Sage didn't like him.
Yeah, but Sophie sort of framed it more as like, I've got to look out for myself. And most important thing for me is to get rid of Jawan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a bit like he was going to beat me. It wasn't like, this is actually better for all of us now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because she says that me and you are good to go up against each other at Final Tribal Council, which is incorrect. For Sage, it's to go up against Stephen or Christina. Like 100%.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
I think it could be an interesting toss-up between them. But I think the way that, like, Sage and Sophie have what they've done, like, Sophie's sort of been bouncing around a bit more, but I still like Sage and Jawan have made some real good moves. So I think, I don't know. They almost feel kind of comparable to me. I thought it could be a pretty close one between the two of them.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to take each other. I think
wouldn't.
everyone
No
wants
way.
to take. Yeah, I think for a Final Tribal Council, it would be quite interesting, because they could have different arguments.
Yes.
But inside the game, I think you're not going like everyone is taking Christina to the end at this point.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
I find that
Like,
that's
no
a
one
really
is voting
interesting
her
thing
off.
between Stephen and Christine. Like, Stephen is now a permanent 2, because it's like, no one's going to get Christina. So her name is just never coming up. So it's really interesting to be in a position where you're not going to lose your number. Like, it's just not going to happen. No one's going to come for them. I find that so strange that it's like, no, he's got 2 votes. He's a pair now, locked in.
It is so weird that I feel like she hasn't really played the game. She didn't vote at the first half. She was sort of just there. And then
Play the
she
idol,
had idol play on Stephen, which was fine. But I just feel like she's had zero impact on this game.
Maybe it's when she's tied so close to Stephen, and we haven't seen a lot of their, strat chats and like plotting and, okay, we'll do this. It's all felt very plain.
Well, I don't think Stephen even wanted to be allied with it, because he was all in the bottoms up. He was totally in the bottoms up alliance.
Yeah, you're right.
He was an MC. He was MC, and then he was bottoms up.
Yeah.
And now he's sort of like, oh, okay.
Like with Christina.
I don't know, man.
That's where I am. That's where the cards are falling.
Yeah. Is this season ends up being like a Sophie, Stephen, Christina final 3? Oof. It'll be a oof.
Yeah, if both Stephen and Christina, it'll be interesting who the third gets through, but
Who the
yeah,
winner is. You mean in that regard?
The other little interesting bit I want to touch on is Soph. We heard it a lot from Soph at the start. And as you mentioned last week, her having really good reads. I think you've got a real good pick for winner here, Reed, because she was sort of saying how she understands I need to get rid of Savannah and Rizzo. Like, I know I'm the 3 there. I know I'm the 3rd there. and her pitch to Sage as well, like understanding, hey, look, I'm with you. I understand we need to get rid of them. So I think it's nice to plant that seed to be like, I'm ready to work with you when the time comes.
But didn't Sage just turn around and say, I don't trust you though, because
she did.
Sort of did.
Yeah, but it's also
but
like...
you've got to know.
But you also should be like,
what's in their best interests.
Yeah, and you could probably look at me and realize that, yeah, maybe you're not going to win against Savannah and Rizzo, and it does make sense for you to turn on them at some point. So I think if Sage comes out of it and looks what is actually best for Sophie or for Soph, that will sort of illuminate that relationship a bit more, I think.
Oh, good use of illuminate, Josh. Very good. Let's get onto the journey, though. First of all, why the hell did they let Stephen go on the journey by himself?
That was
crazy. Insane. That's insane.
No one even put their hand up to block him. It was so weird.
Now, was this going to be a race between people, or was this going to be a draw straws and one person goes?
What do you mean a race?
Like, if two people wanted to go, were they both on the island and both trying to race around against each other?
Not.
Or it was just
pick one. It was pick one. Because remember,
okay.
Sage was the only one who was like, I'm 50-50. I could take it or leave it. So if you want to go, go.
Yeah, but
I was shocked. The amount of people who in the moment said, I don't want to tire myself out. And then in the next breath said, I can't believe we let Stephen go.
I know, you all did that. You all did that. There's no part of me that if I was in their position that I would let Stephen just go solo.
Well, normally there's like the one person who's like, well, I'll do it for the alliance.
I'll have to do it.
Like,
yeah, but none of them did.
It was so weird. And now, like, the way Stephen talked about the changing fortunes, it's like, yeah, it's completely flipped upside down for Stephen now because you just let him go and get this advantage.
Yeah, and look, honestly, a vote block isn't that amazing, but a vote steal, like Rizzo thinks it is, would change the game. Like, you could really do a flip on that.
It's huge. I love how Stephen didn't tell either. Just totally kept to himself.
Yeah, at this point.
As he was saying, like, when you get back, what do you tell? I think that's the perfect way to do it. You just tell everything, but you don't say what it is. So they know, I don't, because even if you say, oh, I didn't do it, they always go, yeah, you definitely got it. So you may as well just say yes. But I really like that from Steve.
The only other thing you could do is like, yeah, it was this whole thing and I ran out of time and I lost my vote.
Yeah, but I don't think they believe
people
you.
are going to believe you. I know. It doesn't matter what you say.
No,
people are not going to believe you.
The thing I loved about this as well was the title hourglass of like, you've got it. It's based on the tide. I thought that was awesome.
I know. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a cool challenge running around the whole island.
Yeah,
I thought that was really fun. Like,
I really
fun.
I really liked it.
Now, one thing was interesting. Now, did you notice the combination was 18, 43, 25?
Yes.
Now, that is a combination they have used before on season 45 with this exact, like a similar thing. So Jake in that season had to go around and the way he remembered it was the winners of each season. So JT won 18. So like, he was like, oh, yep. 18, 43 was Gabler, and 25 was Denise. So he remembered JT, Gabler,
That's
Denise
great.
as his
That's
way,
great.
as a little thing to remind her.
That's
and
really
they had
good.
little flashbacks of the winners as he was remembering it. But then, so obviously they're just using the same prop because they're like, oh, it's too hard. It's too hard to change the combo. And they just reused it.
I haven't seen one of the
people.
pull-out one. I like those dials, those big pull-out dials. It's always a dramatic moment when they go, oh, yeah.
So I want to know, if future season players, seriously, try 18, 43, 25.
Any combination.
Straight up. And then
that would be amazing
so
if you just bypassed it.
You just go, you know what? I've noticed they've used this before.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that would be cool. Unfortunately, Stephen has no winner's equity, and this will not affect his game at all because he's not winning the game.
You don't think so?
No. I like Stephen. His narrative for this season has not been a winner's narrative.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
been
hasn't.
plain. Yeah.
It just if you really look inside, you know Stephen's not winning this game.
Yeah. Well,
So it does sort of feel like-
terms of the moves he's massaged or whatnot, we haven't really seen a lot of that.
And I just feel like, yes, Sophie's probably going to steal his advantage because I think she can still use it.
I reckon she'll steal Rizzo's idol. I think that's a bigger thing. When you turn in your alliance and steal the idol, then
that would be that. Honestly, that would be cool.
Especially that no one knows about. Like, if you're going to turn on them, what a better way to do it? To be like, Rizzo thinks he's sitting pretty and he's going to be fine, and then you drop that in there. Like, that'd be awesome.
Well, the idea is, and what did I say? Yeah, the idea is, this. So the idea is, steal Rizzo's idol. Use it for yourself, vote out Savannah, then get rid of Rizzo, then possibly burn yourself and lose the game, but become a legend and get invited to play on 50, or just simply win this season.
They're your choices. That's your choices.
Like, that's Sophie's choice at the moment. Like, either do all of that cool craziness and have a really fun season or just win. and I think she's just going to go for the win.
I think you've picked a good one there. I think Sophie's looking in a real good spot here.
Yeah. Yes, Stephen telling them the truth. I think we've discussed that. That was pretty good. Now then Rizzo, top dog Rizzo is like, well, I already know what it is. It's steal a vote. It's definitely steal a vote.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Stephen and saying it. And Stephen lets him go.
Yeah.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then Rizzo goes, oh, I think I read it. I read it in his eyes. He was like, oh my God, this guy's figured it all out. So at this point, this is actually really good for Stephen because you can play this against Rizzo. Like, well, yeah, I can flip the whole game up on its head now. And then this narrative disappears for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it was weird because we sort of saw Rizzo, it was really interesting to Rizzo being, we can both get through this together, and I love seeing the people on the bench like coming back from the ropes to be like, hey, we can work together and we can both get through. It's like, I'm getting through this already because I got the thing.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, again, it's a nice case of, I think Rizzo's been really good throughout this whole season of trying. Like, when he'd split off into the 5, he was pushing names around to get through that.
Yeah.
And this again, he's not giving up just because Steven's got advantage. He knows he's not on his side. Like, so I've been really impressed with that of like really trying and pushing all angles all the time.
Yeah, and you hate Rizzo, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Ridiculous. Let's get to the challenge then.
Yes.
So the challenge, if Jeff Probst gives you the opportunity to impersonate him, you go full hog. Like, you do.
We're going the full analysis here, folks.
This is crazy. I don't know. This is such a fun thing to do. You go, okay. First thing I would have gone.
What was wrong with what he did?
First of all, Sophie bailed on it.
Yeah,
Sophie bailed on it. Was just like, oh, I don't know. And then Steve was sort of trying to explain it, and he was like, no, you got to impersonate me. Oh, and then he tried to sort of do it, but he wasn't really confident. The first thing you do, you go, okay, Sophie, immunity, I'm taking it back. And you take it back off Sophie. And then you go, today you'll be, like, you go all in.
Not everyone's like you, Eden, okay?
I know,
yes, you would have killed it.
But yeah, I know I would have. But that's what the producers want. They want that cool, fun moment. And they didn't get it. It sort of pitted out and was sort of crappy.
I think they want someone reciting space facts. So.
Well, this is true. This is very true. So yeah, it's the old stack up immunity, but they have the twister-rama.
I really like this.
The twister-rama, you liked it?
Yeah, it looked like so close to falling over. Like,
all the time. Yeah.
Really surprised that they sort of stuck together.
Centrifugal force, mate.
Yeah, keep it together.
In fact, the faster you spin, the more it holds it together.
You actually just run the whole way.
But yeah, there's not much else there. It was pretty fun. It was all good.
And then we had the reward pick.
Yeah,
so the logic behind this.
Yeah, so ultimately, he picked Christina, wrong choice, and then he picked Rizzo. Which was off the back of him and Rizzo talking earlier.
No, I think the Rizzo was to pull him away from the others because he's such a talker. I think in terms of to break up that conversation, I think I quite like the Rizzo pick in terms of taking them out of that conversation. So you're probably more likely to be around conversations with him because I think he's such a strong voice in conversations.
I'm going to disagree with you there, Josh. I'm going to say if Operation Italy taught us anything, it was, you know what, at this stage of the game, just take your allies with you and just come up with a plan by yourselves and just sit down and really nut out an awesome plan. Now that Stephen's got this advantage, you could nut something out and come back to the table with a really cool, strong plan. I think he needed Sage there, 100%. Yeah. I think Sage was the one. Like, he's got Christina. He's got Christina. So Christina's locked. I think he needed to work on like Sage and even Sophie to a degree. But if they had got them together and he'd just gone, I'm going to do this right now. I've got this. We can do this. This can happen. Let's do it, sort of thing. I don't know. I think that would have been better.
I think it's hard to pass up Christina because I think she would almost take that as a mortal wound. I don't think you could smooth that over with someone like her. I agree that she's so in your pocket that you probably could get away with it, but I still think someone like her would be really, really hurt by that. But I agree. I think Sage would have been a really good pick.
She's so bad at the game.
Yeah, but I think at some level
you got to know that like they're not picking you for strategic reasons.
Yeah, but I feel like this season's been a very emotional season, so I can kind of understand it.
True.
I can kind of understand that betrayal kind of thing. But I think maybe even a Sophie, just to like really try and tease out what's her relationship with Rizzo and Savannah, and try and find a few chinks in that armor there.
Yeah, and then they get, as Jeff says, spaghetti. Jeff does his little like little,
Supposed to tell you.
little. It was all about the impressions. Jeff must have just watched.
Well, as you said, it was Operation Italy all over again. So.
Yeah, it was in Genevieve was in Jeff's head. So now we're getting back to the scramble, yeah?
Yes. One of the main things I want to talk about here, did Sophie underestimate how badly Sage was going to take that vote? Because it seemed
big time.
She felt like, no, we'll just get rid of Juwan and then it'll open up Sage as well, and then we can go back and get Savannah. Like, it felt like she really thought, we'll cut your best ally and then we'll work together and kill one on the other side. Do you think that's reasonable, or is that a reasonable read to have of Sage?
No, I think Sage is super emotional and has been this entire game, and you should realize that she's going to like blow stuff up. I think Sophie's big mistake was, again, people keep doing this. She goes to the other girls and says, oh, we should get rid of Savannah now. This is the time. I'm going to flip on them. Let's do it. Like, go to Sage and be like, Sage, what can I do to make this up for you? Who do you want to get out? Like, let it be Sage's plan.
Yeah.
Like, let Sage feel like she's in control of this thing.
How do you balance that between like making moves and being a playmaker versus being passive in the game, though?
No, because you can frame it as, I wanted this to happen. I knew I couldn't force you to do it, so I planted enough seeds and I sort of let you lead the boat in that regard. Because ultimately, if you don't have that other person in Final Tribal Council, it doesn't matter. So if Sage isn't there, it doesn't matter.
Well, I feel like we
helped drive this vote.
I feel like we saw it a lot as well, the pitching with Stephen and Christina, where it's like coming to them and being like, hey, this is what we should do. Like, it didn't feel very like, hey, what do you guys want to... I didn't get a sense in this episode much of, hey, what do you guys want to do at all? It's very much everyone coming with their own plans.
Yeah, which makes me actually feel that this episode was just a foregone conclusion that everyone did actually want Sophie.
It seems that way.
And like the edit was just trying to throw things in the waterworks because
there was that moment. There was that moment when she went down to the water and like Soph jumped out of the hammock to be like, "Is she gone? Are we getting her? Yeah, sweet, great." So I don't know where that came from. And then one of the big question for you, Eden, in terms of narratives for a season, I feel like this playing the middle has been a really, really big thing, and I feel like it's burnt a lot of people and it's been a reason for a lot of stuff. When you're out there, did these kind of narratives reveal themselves and there's like a tone for the season, or like the idea of like, is it out there you're feeling like people in the middle? Oh yeah, we've got to get to people in the middle. They're going to win. We've got to get them in the middle.
I think you can definitely like create a narrative for a season. Like there are points when you go, you know what? There's been too many seasons where like these goats have got through to the end. So I'm going to sort of push the narrative that we need to get rid of these people doing nothing, and the big players have got to hang around. Like, you can create a narrative like that in a season very, very easy. You can create a narrative of, it's all about challenge beasts. Like, we have to get rid of them all. They're all going to win. And you can paint those people, and the narrative can be like, let's get rid of all the alpha, like, fit people. And that creates a life of its own, and it does roll. Like, it gets out of control, and that becomes the season. So I definitely think you can help forge a narrative of a season for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. And playing in the middle it's probably, in the moment, sometimes it's a bit harder to identify who's doing that. If you're doing it really well, it may just seem like you're just friends with everyone and stuff like that. But then realistically, it's when you jump from side to side and you're sort of helping dictate the vote. That's when it gets interesting.
To me, that's not necessarily been the story of this season. Like, I feel like we've had the Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie block, and then like the Juwan and Sage block and the Stephen and Christina block. Like, so in terms of like in the middle, you kind of got a bunch of these little voting blocks
Everyone's
together.
in the middle, Josh. When everyone's in the middle, no one's in the middle.
Exactly, yeah. But do you know what I mean? It's not like there's been these single people jumping across and really... It's like there's coalitions of people coming together for these votes.
Yeah, it's more people coming together than actually someone in the middle jumping around. Yeah, that's really true.
I think it's more that. But it's been interesting just, again, to have this person that... Again, and we sort of saw that, I think, when Sophie found out that, she had no allies, everyone, where's MC, that kind of moment. I think that really changed the game for her, that says, I'm going to be out there for myself. And I think we really saw that play out. She's like, I'm going to dictate who I want to go, what the plan should be, and we're going to make it happen. I'll do this. And I think this was the end of the road for that sort of push. But I think that fire under her really pushed her to this point.
Yeah, I totally agree. The one thing we haven't sort of touched on is just Sage is blinded by revenge.
Yeah,
it's weird that she literally blamed the entire Juwan vote on Sophie and not Rizzo and Savannah. Like Rizzo was gloating about it. Savannah it was their plan. Like they were like, oh, they're turning on us. Let's get them. And they, as far as I'm concerned, they used Sophie to help facilitate that. But they felt that Sophie said that she was with them, and then she wasn't, and that became.
I guess it's the idea
the dagger
of
in the heart.
Yeah, well, you probably knew what they were doing, and it wasn't like a surprise. But the one who essentially flipped on you. So I'm just surprised to see like someone who seemed to be pretty good in terms of game sense and picking who she wants to get out. I was very surprised to see there's some sage of like just this blinding thing of I want to get rid of this person rather than like, okay, well, what's the new board? What's the new board? Where are all the pieces?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's how she's been playing of like, hey guys, we need to get rid of Savannah, all these reasons. And so I'm very, very surprised to see that be her sort of driving factor. And it just...
But she's hated Savannah for ages and she's wanted to get rid of her.
Yeah. And so it's weird that then this little blip comes up and it doesn't... Being so close to the end, I think it's just even stranger that your eyes aren't solely on how do we get to the end and how do we win?
Yeah.
Like to have something like that happen now seems crazy.
I completely, it's so weird to be so blinded at this point in the game. But then it meant a lot to her, and Jawan, it meant a lot to him as well because he was like,
true.
yeah, get her. But then Savannah, this is again a really good play from Savannah because you can trust Sage's like hatred of someone more than someone just saying, yeah, I'll do what you and it's something that you can really hold on to.
Well, there's like a real motivation behind it. Right?
Exactly. You've identified a motivation that goes beyond just you going, hey, do you trust me? Let's do this. It's like, oh no, I know that she's going to do this because she really wants to get revenge on Sophie. So now I feel way more confident that like it's easier to trust them.
And the same way that Christina feels about Savannah as well. It's like there's a real, and that came up in Tribal to be like, there's a clash of personalities here. We're not beating around the bush. So it's like, if you're going for Savannah, you know you can get Christina. Like you absolutely know that she's going to be on board with that plan.
Yeah. So what realistically, it should be Sophie, Sage, Steven, and Christina all as the voting block and getting rid of Rizzo and Savannah, realistically.
I think they should do that. I think there's no reason not to try and do that. And I think Sophie's in an incredibly good position because even if one of them wins immunity, you can steal the idol, get rid of the other one, take that out. So I think in terms of knocking out Rizzo and Savannah, I think if they really need to do, like they should just all band together. We have to get rid of these two. But I don't know how they see them in the game. And that's what I just don't understand. I don't know how everyone views everyone. And maybe they view who's the nice person. Everyone seems to say how Steven's so much of a threat. Is that just because he's a really nice guy and he got on with everyone? Like, based on the jury, I don't know. Like there's all these questions that I'm not too sure what the feeling is out there because what they're saying in some of their confessionals as well, that's not how I felt watching this season.
Because what I think, in this situation, I think the play in this point is you go, okay, we know that Rizzo and Savannah and Sophie are all voting for Sophie, right? Mm-hmm. So we know that. Then Steven and Christina can get together with Sage and just say, okay, well, we know those three are voting for Sophie. Yeah. I know you want to vote for Sophie, but you know what we could do? If you vote with us now for Rizzo plays his idol and then Sophie goes home. And that's ultimately what we want. So let's do that and at Tribal Council, we'll scare him enough to play his idol and just say, just letting you know, Rizzo, you're going home tonight.
Because I don't think...
Because then that's perfect. Because either Rizzo plays his idol and he's safe and Sophie goes home, or Rizzo doesn't play his idol and Rizzo goes home.
Yeah, I think it seems. I don't know why you wouldn't do it at that point. You know, it's like it's such a easy thing to do because it's just the whole time he's had it. It's like you have to put votes on whenever you get the chance.
You've got to put the majority of votes on. This is the last. Again, we keep saying it.
And
it's
you're
like
absolutely
you can't
right.
Split anymore.
This would have been a perfect time to do it.
Because you know, the thing is, you know what the split is. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. So Christina and Steven go, I know that the split is on Sophie. I don't care. I want Sophie out as well. I'm just like, just things like this that I'm like, that's what you do. Like, that's what you do in this situation.
But it was surprising and it just seemed like, dump on Sophie. So what do we know?
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, I do want to bring this up now because Rizzo had a great line when he thought he had three opportunities to say a bird in the hand. He's got two in the bush.
He was trying to say two birds, one stone.
No, I think I've got it here, Josh. Rizzo had 2 stones for the price of 1 rock in the hand in a place of a bush with 2 hands.
That's it. Simple, Rizzo. It was very simple. There you go.
Very simple. Very simple. A baby could answer it. But that's what he wanted to say. I thought that was a very funny little edit. I thought that was very good. I liked how they kept that in. Where are we now?
One little quick question.
What else we got?
Sage, I find the most interesting, just to sort of wrap us up here.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been better for Sage to get rid of Savannah or Rizzo, and which one in particular?
Yeah, I think everyone's talking about Savannah winning the game. Like no one is talking about Rizzo winning the game. I think you get rid of Savannah, and then Rizzo has his idol. He can use it. I think Rizzo last time to use it is next vote. Then he has to get rid of 1 vote, and then it's fire making. It's fire making at 4. So if you leave Rizzo and Savannah in this game, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got, once you get to final 4, anyone can win fire at this point, realistically, and then suddenly they're in the final.
Yeah, I think it's been so. He's just going to get through with the idol, and I have to play it. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? It's just.
Maybe it's like Xander. Do you remember Xander? No, maybe you don't. 41. He had an idol, and everyone just stopped voting for him, and it didn't mean anything. And they didn't tell him what was happening. They didn't tell him what was happening, and they didn't vote
really
for
funny.
him. And so he was just like out of the loop, and he got all the way to the end, and he got 0 votes.
That's really weird. That's really funny.
It was really weird.
Well,
It was
Rizzo's
really
definitely
weird.
trying stuff.
Yeah, Rizzo's actually doing things. So I think in the new era, you've got to look at the side people. Yeah. The people that do enough to just be on the right side of the votes that are sort of happy, because this is what Sophie's done. The fact that no one has mentioned Soph this entire game as a threat is insane.
Well,
It's absolutely insane. You've got to target these people on the side.
What's been really interesting for me with Soph, in terms of specifically how she's placed compared to other people, doesn't have a pair, doesn't have that, but she's latched onto a 3. And she knows she's the third of that, but she's not seen as the target because the other 2 are the target. And so she's been in this perfect, but she's also not in the middle of your Alex's and your Sophies, where it's like, oh, playing the middle. So she's ended up in this really interesting spot because she hasn't quite flicked the switch yet. So I'll be really interested to see once she does, turns on them. That'll be the big moment for me. And I think she's going to pull it off. I think she's got all the tools to do it.
So do I, and it's about having those tools as well. Like if she's going to steal Rizzo's idol or Steven's advantage or anything like that, but ultimately she just needs one thing. If she just does the one thing, she wins. Like
to get to this point, to come, like, what a story, right? To come from the tribe,
and
narrowly
it's a good
avoided a sea crate,
avoided death by sea crate. Yeah, exactly.
Made it out, made it out of that, and then found a new group, stuck around, got to this point, and then made a big move to flip everything in the end. So yeah, I think she's got a really good story if she can get through.
Yeah, and then ultimately, just quickly at Final Tribal Council, I just want to say this: no one cares people going on immunity runs at Final Tribal Council. No one cares about that. People are like, oh, they're going to get there and say that they won so many. No one cares. Like ultimately,
it's probably,
if you're up against someone that played well, up against someone that won 5, you're like, whatever.
I think to your point, which you've made about like it's the idea of stealing your spot. If they're still there via immunity, that's one less seat for you to be sitting in.
Yep. Yeah. Could Stephen have used his vote block this episode effectively? Not really, unless they had Sage. And if they had Sage, they would have had the numbers.
Yeah, I think he made the right call in it's more powerful. Like, keep it as long as I can. It becomes more powerful. So I think that's a good move from him.
Yeah. And I think this is going to sound really bad, but Christina has broken the voting out curse of the jury. Well, they were all like African American, all
right. There you go.
Then, so like this has been broke. Christina,
it's all covered.
Could have been the next one. So it's like, so that's and apparently Jawan was really affected by that. I was reading
really?
That he was like till he got voted out, and he really hit home to him, and he was like, oh wow, we're all people of color. This is really full on, and he's like struggled with that. He's like, why did I let this happen? It's interesting. When you're in the game, you just must not see it, and then outside it becomes really obvious.
The lens is like everyone's lens, right? Like I really don't suspect there's anything behind that. I think it's just the position people have ended up in and the connections they've made. But it's interesting nonetheless that it's sort of played out that way.
Yeah. Who's spun and grun, Josh?
Spinning grin.
I think it's got to be Steven. I think
massive, he was grinning.
From him being on the bottom, like, okay, got to reassess, got the advantage, did a really good job in the journey, wins immunity, feels like he's back in the game. I think having the right conversations with people. I thought the way he kept it a secret was really good. So I was very happy with Stephen's game today.
Yeah, and look, disappointingly, he can't win. But ultimately, yeah, he had a good episode.
Jeez, he tells what you really think.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry, Stephen. I like you, but you're not going to win. Who ruffled some feathers?
It was to rustle feathers,
About
ruffle
that.
feathers.
I'm probably going to say Sophie,
Got to
I
be
think.
Sage, doesn't it?
Sage, you're going to go, oh, that's true. The emotional, the revenge plot.
The revenge plot, I think.
True.
Why do you think so?
I just think because she was trying to dictate a lot of stuff and kind of turned everyone against her, I think.
I think Sage going like, nah, I'm just going to get revenge.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get revenge.
I think an emotional revenge plot gives us a little bit of...
You said rustle feathers.
Thank you. And Josh, I think maybe just if people are still listening at this point, maybe just hashtag 2 stones for the price of 1 rock.
2 stones, the right rock, if you could remember that and fit that in.
Or just put your own one in the
put
chat.
your favourite idiom.
Put your favourite incorrect idiom in the chat. That's actually good. I would love to see some incorrect idiom. Like milk off a duck's back. I purposely like that. Or cooking with oil. I think that's everything, Josh. I think we're down. Who can win this game, by the way?
I think
just quickly.
I think Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie, or Sage. I don't see Stephen and Christina winning. I think Sage is...
I don't see...
I only see Sage if she's up against...
Do you see Rizzo winning? I don't see Rizzo winning.
If Savannah's...
I don't actually see him winning.
I think he may have done enough against Stephen and Christina. Maybe
So
Sage.
Rizzo doesn't beat Savannah, and I'm not sure whether Rizzo beats Soph either.
I don't think he beats Soph because she's been there doing the same stuff. And she has a bit more interesting early story.
I think she's got a better overall story.
Yeah.
I think, does he beat Sage?
Maybe. I think it feels like Sage has done a lot. It depends how these next few moments go.
How can she articulate it, though? That's the thing. She's got to articulate it well.
Yeah.
Sage.
Yeah. I guess the problem is, like, you could have said, after you got rid of after Joanne went home and I thought about where I was in the game and I did this rather than, like, I got really emotional. I
got really emotional and I went for revenge. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if that's a good story.
Yeah, I still think Sophie has all... So Soph has all the tools.
I think
win
Soph's
the
in
game
I
at
think
this
she's in the
point.
box seat.
I think, I'll be disappointed if Savannah or Rizzo aren't in the end. I would really like to see an awesome final trouble.
Oh,
council.
man,
That's
if
what I would
those
like to
three,
see.
if it was Rizzo, Savannah, Soph in the final three, that would be
final
awesome.
3. I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really
And they
cool
could
to see.
all talk the talk, but I'm worried it's going to be like a Christine. Well, yeah.
And
does
Christina will
Christine
100%
lose?
get there. Like, no one's going to get rid of Christina.
Maybe she wins the final 4 and then puts herself into fire and then loses fire.
Maybe that's how it's going to play out. Maybe that's how it's
Maybe.
going to play out.
But who knows? Anyway, thank you for listening. We've got 2 episodes left. We'll see you soon.
Race to the end.
Last
Thanks,
2.
folks.
Let's do it. Bye.
Bye.